Donald Trump once again taking on Islam in his presidential campaign. First, it was Trump's proposed temporary ban on Muslims, and now Trump is saying this.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out, okay? You'll get another Pulitzer, right? But you're going to have to figure that out. But there is a tremendous hatred, and we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful, and we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is,
and of people that are not Muslim.
I guess the question is there a war between the West and radical Islam, or is there a war between the West and Islam itself?
It's radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's who.
Well, is that what he meant to say, or did he mean to add in the word radical or not? The On the Record political panel is back from Washington. Examiner Susan Friccio, and from the Weekly Standard, Daniel Halper. Susan, before we get to this Donald Trump statement, I want to ask you about Michelle Fields, and I also want to clarify something. Is that Sanders statement was not about Michelle Fields, the reporter, but was about the African-American protester who was apparently being ejected, and a 78-year-old Trump fan punched him and has now since been arrested. So we got those a little mixed up. But anyway, tell me about Michelle Fields.
Well, she was at a campaign event, and reporters were interviewing Trump, who was exiting the stage and stopping to talk to reporters on his way out. And when she stepped forward to ask a question, one of his top campaign operatives reached back and, according to her, grabbed her arm and shoved her out of the way, and she nearly fell over. And it left some bruising on her arms. This was witnessed by a Washington Post reporter. Was it intentional or deliberate, or is this like in a sort of a bunch of people trying to get out of someplace? Well, it sounds like he grabbed her pretty hard and hurt her arm, and she had some bruises to show for it. And then, of course, it evolved later into a Twitter war because, Trump's campaign is denying it, and the campaign manager is questioning her truthfulness instead of just, manning up and apologizing. He's saying it never happened, and that he's questioning her truthfulness, and that's basically the gist of the story.
Radical Islam or Islam, what do you mean?
Look, we can't get in his head. We can only say what he meant. But he has called for a moratorium and allowing Muslims to temporarily not be allowed to come into the United States. So it's not surprising that he would say something like that. It's probably not going to turn off any of his supporters, but a lot of Americans will be upset.
Plot thickens. I'm sure we'll get a lot more tomorrow on both those topics. Daniel, Susan, thank you both.